All right, I am making this video to kind of help explain the differences between slice seeding and aeration and overseeding. All right, so on the left, you see a slice seeder right here, and on the right hand, you see an aerator. Aerators are definitely more common than slice seeding, and there's a variety of reasons. You get a lot of benefit from an aerator, and you don't get any of those benefits from the slice seeder. Now, in the slice seeder, you see kind of where my mouse is, these lines that go up and down, okay, all across. They're about an inch to an inch and a half apart from each other. And what these are they're knives or discs or whatever you want to call them. But if you've ever driven past a field of corn and you see them all put in rows, well, if you've ever seen corn planted, they have these big planters, they have discs in the ground, and they cut these grooves in the ground, and they drop, seed every so often, and then it covers them back up. That's exactly what this machine is, but on a small scale for residential. Okay, so usually this is used when you have very bare or very minimal amount of grass coverage on your lawn. This over here, on the other hand, is an aerator. And so each one of these little tines right here is what these are called. What they do is they stick into the ground and they pull the plug out of the ground, and it lays it on top of the ground. And so to benefit, so hold on, let's kind of go back to the slice seeder. This one only cuts about a 1/4 inch in the ground, and its sole purpose is to get seed to soil contact to help grass grow. On the other hand, the benefit of an aerator is multifaceted. We're pulling plugs out, so it's going to help slightly with thatch. It's going to help alleviate compaction in the soil. The reason you want to alleviate compaction is because you are trying to build the root structure and the root density, and by opening up areas in the soil, that helps with that. It promotes root growth and root density when you alleviate compaction. When you pull those plugs out, they're typically about 3 inches long. Sometimes they're a little shorter, typically on a walk behind aerator. The only weight is the weight of the machine, and this little black thing that goes all the way across here, these weigh about 50 pounds or so. And so if you have hard soil, it's not going to pull a big plug. But anyways, when you have that plug pulled out, it allows oxygen, nutrients, and water to flow freely into the root zone, which helps with that root complexity, which helps turn this grass really green. The more complex the root system, the better and healthier and more durable that turf is, and the better it's going to look. So on the left side here, this is what aeration looks like. So you're going to pull out these plugs out of the ground, and that's how you open it up and you're alleviating compaction, you're allowing those roots to move free. They'll actually move into this zone here, and then the fertilizers and all that such fall into these holes. And then over the course of a couple days, these plugs will actually break down. Maybe it's actually a couple weeks. These plugs will break down, through just naturally. And as you're watering it, it'll break these down and it'll go right back into these holes. And so that's why after you aerate, you always want to seed, because you're going to put seed out. It's going to go into these holes right here, and then this plug is going to come right back into there, and it is going to provide optimal seed to soil contact and help that grow. Now, if you have a decent lawn, this is the way to go. You're going to start seeding, you're putting new life into the ground, and you're getting all the other benefits. Now, on the right side, you see these long grooves and strands. This is kind of what it looks like going back to the cornfield example. That you have these long rows and they're planted. And so this part right here, this stretch, this would be a great candidate for aeration and overseeding. This over here, it's very barren. There's a lot of weed coverage over here. Maybe you've hired us for weed control, and so now you're seeing a lot of bare areas that once were totally weed covered, now they're starting to die out. Well, we want to get a lot of seed in that area, or else you'll see a lot of crabgrass in the following year. And so when you have this area that's really bare, so we typically, our rule of thumb is 50% or less grass in an area qualifies for slice seeding. Now, this area over here along the strip side, we're not going to slice seed that, okay? Because these strips are only about a 1/4 inch in the ground. It's very aggressive on the ground. It's trying to get more seed in, seed to soil contact, and slice seeding is also much more expensive. Over here, since this area is bare, we have to put 10 pounds per 1,000 square feet of grass seed. And a bag of grass seed wholesale that we pay is well over $100 per bag. So you can only do 5,000 square feet of seeding per or for slice seeding. So that's, and the grass is well over $100 a bag is our cost. You know, that doesn't include the labor and the transportation to get it and all this. So that's why slice seeding is much more expensive. Now with aerating and seeding, you only put down 5 pounds per 1,000. So you use half the amount of seed. And these are for more established lawns that are just trying to get more life into the soil. So that's the huge difference. This side over here gets none of the benefits of aeration. It doesn't alleviate the compaction. It doesn't do anything because it only cuts down 1/4 inch. These are fairly small plugs, but aeration is going down 3 inches. 2 to 3 inches is a good plug for aeration and seeding. So you get all those benefits, plus you're putting new life into the ground, new seed. And as you know, seed has a cycle, just like humans. It starts to die off as it gets old. It'll die off and you'll start seeing your lawn thin if you don't continuously add more seed into the lawn. So best practice is to aerate and seed yearly to start getting more seed into the ground. With slice seeding, you really only want to do it as you're establishing the lawn, but it's not something that you're going to do on a consistent basis. So hopefully that helped explain a little bit of the difference between aeration and overseeding and then slice seeding. But if you have any other questions or concerns, feel free to give us a call and we'll be able to answer all those questions for you.